you ashamed or sorry for what you've done?
Yes, I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I'm guilty. But I did it. You know, what else can I tell you? It happened. You're looking at someone that did. It can happen if you go to war. Those are the type of things will happen. It can happen to anyone. After they train you and they program you, it can happen. It happens. That's reality. That's what war is. War is not something that I shoot at you, you shoot at me. Well, we take time out. You know, well, don't shoot me here, don't shoot at you. War is war. It's killing in all type of ways. And that's where we don't need another war.
At no time it ever crossed my mind to disobey or to refuse to carry out an order that was issued by my superiors.
So if one of your men had refused to shoot, what would have happened to him? What would you have said to him?
If one of my men had refused to shoot, I shudder to think what have been the repercussions, because it's hard to say now what I would have done looking back. At the time that it actually, when it happened, he would have been in serious trouble.
Order me to shoot down innocent people, that's not an order. That's craziness to me, you know? And so I don't feel like I have to obey that. And if you want to court-martial me, you do that. If you can get away with it.
When I sat down with a friend who had been there 3 weeks after the massacre, and we were telling each other war stories, and we hadn't seen each other in 3 months, and I said, "What have you been doing?" He said, "What have you been doing?" He said, "Oh, man, did you hear what we did at Pinkville?" I said, "No, what'd you do at Pinkville?" He said, "We went in there and we killed everybody." I said, "Killed everybody? What do you mean?" He said, "We just shot them, lined them up and shot them down, 300 or 400 or 500 people, I don't know how many." And my immediate reaction was, you know, these no-good sons of bitches. Look what they've gotten me into. Look what they've gotten us all into. They left me now with a choice to turn in my friends or to be a part of this horrible crime. And I'm not going to be a part of this horrible crime.
As a result of our investigations, it was a massacre. It was a violation of all the rules of land warfare that I've ever known in my life, because it was just cold-blooded killing of people who appeared to be defenseless civilians.
And deep down we felt what we were doing was right. But after it was over, everyone knew it was wrong. And the damage was already done. It was too late.
I can't forgive myself for the things, even though I know it was something that I did and something that I was told to do. But how can I forget that? I forgive. I can't. I live with it every day. It's easy for you to say, well, you go ahead with your life. But how can you go ahead with your life when this is holding you back? How can I can't put my mind to anything positive because it's always negative?
Warrant Officer Thompson was desperate to get these civilians, what he believed to be civilians, out of this bunker and into a safe area. He'd seen beforehand that what he was trying to do to help the people on the ground wasn't getting done. He was convinced that the ground forces would kill these people if he couldn't get to them first. He landed the aircraft in between the American forces and the Vietnamese people in the bunker got out of the aircraft, had us get out of the aircraft with our weapons to cover him, and he went and had words with the lieutenant on the ground. He asked the lieutenant how he could get these people out of the bunker. The lieutenant said the only way he knew was with hand grenades. So when Warrant Officer Thompson came back to the aircraft, he was furious, and he was desperate to get these people out of the bunker. He told us he was going over to the bunker himself to see if he could get them out. I don't even think he took a rifle with him. I think he was, besides a sidearm, he was relatively unarmed. He told us if the Americans were to open fire on these Vietnamese as he was getting them out of the bunker, that we should return fire on the Americans.
During the mission, as it was going on, we kept just reconning around. Started seeing a lot of bodies. It didn't add up, you know, how all these people were getting killed and wounded, and we weren't receiving any fire. Just, you know, it didn't make sense. There was too many casualties there, and how they were, the locations they were in, you know, figured out artillery couldn't do this. There were, you know, bodies in places the artillery didn't hit, trying to get out of the village.
So these unarmed civilians were being shot right in front of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point you said, enough, and you asked your men to train their guns on the American soldiers who were doing this.
Yes, sir. We didn't have any choice. You know, we tried to, I don't want to say be nice and friendly, but, you know, we'd ask, and we're just kind of like a pinned animal, I guess, in a cage. It's the only way I could think of to get it to stop. And if that's what it would take, that's, you know, what we'd have to do.
Were you prepared to open fire on fellow American soldiers?
Yeah.
You were?
Yes. I remember that day I said, well, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail. I thank God to this date and a lot of days in between that everybody played it cool and nobody started shooting, because I'd really hate to have that on my conscience. But it was something, you know, we didn't volunteer to do. It was the only way out, and I felt we had to take it.